everyone, welcome back to the class of literary readers. This is Pratibha, and today we will continue our series on the history of British literature. In the previous video, we have already talked about the Greco-Roman period. Now, in this video, we will know about the Anglo-Saxon period, which is Old English period, and the Anglo-Norman period, which is Middle English period. But before that, if you are new here, then don't forget to subscribe this channel and like this video and click the bell icon ताकि आपको आने वाले videos की notification मिल सके. So let us begin our discussion on the Anglo-Saxon period. If we talk about the timeline of this period, then this period was started from 5th century to 11th century AD. This period is also known as the Old English period. Now let us understand कि हम इस period को Old English या Anglo-Saxon period के नाम से क्यों जानते हैं. तो in 5th century AD, there used to be in Britain, there used to be an empire of Romans. Romans का यहाँ पे empire हुआ करता था, but कुछ reasons की वजह से they have to leave this place in this century. Now इसी opportunity का फायदा उठाया किन्होंने three Germanic tribes, Angles, Saxons and Jutes. Now what they did, they migrated to Britain, जिसको हम अभी इंग्लैंड नाम से रेफर करते हैं. They migrated to England and settled their colonies in साउथ एंड ईस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द ब्रिटेन, जो कि एक बहुत ही मेजर पार्ट है ब्रिटेन का. ओके तो ये आपकी हिस्ट्री है एंग्लो सेक्सन पीरियड की, कि पहले यहाँ पे रोमन्स का एम्पायर हुआ करता था ब्रिटेन में, बट जर्मन और डेनमार्क की जो थ्री ट्राइब्स थी, इन्होंने यहाँ पे माइग्रेट किया और अपनी कॉलोनीज यहाँ पे एस्टेब्लिश की. इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द लैंग्वेज, ओल्ड इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज, तो अर्लियर यहाँ के जो लोग थे, दे यूज टू स्पीक द लैंग्वेज ब्रिटोनिक. एंड जब इन ट्राइब्स ने यहाँ पे माइग्रेट किया तो लैंग्वेज बिकेम ओल्ड इंग्लिश प्लस जर्मन लैंग्वेज, ब्रिटोनिक प्लस जर्मन लैंग्वेज. तो इन दोनों को मिला के, ब्रिटोनिक और जर्मन को मिला के जो नई एक लैंग्वेज बनी, उसको हम रेफर करते हैं ओल्ड इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज से. ओके तो ये आपकी हिस्ट्री है एंग्लो सेक्सन पीरियड की. आई होप कि मैंने उसको अच्छे से क्लियर किया कि इस पीरियड को हम एंग्लो सेक्सन पीरियड के नाम से क्यों जानते हैं और ओल्ड इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज का जो हिस्ट्री है वो यहाँ से कैसे शुरू होता है. ठीक है. नाउ लेट अस टॉक अबाउट द लिटरेचर ऑफ दिस पीरियड. If we talk about Old English literature, then we have the work Beowulf, which is considered as England's oldest epic. The author is unknown. The story is about the hero Beowulf. He is Beowulf and he is the monster Grendel. So story is about Beowulf, who is a brave warrior who travels to help a king whose people are being terrorized by a monster named Grendel. So he is Grendel and he is Beowulf. If we talk about the themes of this epic, then this epic is based on the themes of heroism, which is full of actions. Apart from it, we have Cadmon's hymn. Hymn का मतलब है यहाँ पे a short religious song. So Cadmon's hymn is about a short hymn praising God as the creator of heaven and earth. Then we have Cynewulf, who was a poet and wrote the poems called Eleni and Juliana. Apart from these two poets, we have The Dream of the Rood, which is a Christian poem and the author is unknown. Then we have some of the important elegies: The Wife's Lament, The Seafarer and The Wanderer. Next we have Old English prose. These are some of the epic. Beowulf is the epic poem. Then these are poems. Then we have Old English prose, the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, which is about, which talks about the history of Anglo-Saxons, and this was started in late 19th century. This was written during the reign of King Alfred the Great. Then we have Ecclesiastical History of the English People, written by Venerable Bede. This book is in 5 books, and this is considered as the authentic historical document. Then we have the writer Alfric of Ansham, who has written Catholic homilies. Homilies का मतलब है collection of sermons. So ये था आपका Old English literature. Let us revise what we have studied. Anglo-Saxon period was started from 5th century to 11th century AD. We have already talked about why this period is either called as Anglo-Saxon period or Old English period. Then we talked about Beowulf, England's oldest epic. Then Cadman's hymn, Cinewulf, the dream of the rood. Then we talked about some of the most important elegies, the wife's lament, the seafarer and the wanderer. Then Old English prose, Anglo-Saxon chronicles, ecclesiastical history of the English race, and Alfric of Ansham, who has written Catholic homilies. Now let's talk about the Anglo-Norman period. If we talk about the timeline of this period, then this period was started from 1066 AD to 16th century AD. Now let us know the history about this period, that why this period is known as the Anglo-Norman period or the Middle English period. Okay, so in 1066 AD, the Battle of Hastings was fought between the French Duke of Normandy, he was from France, and the Anglo-Saxon King Harold. Now इस battle में William of Normandy जो है, who was a French Duke, defeated King Harold जो कि एक Anglo-Saxon King है. Okay, तो after this victory, Normans became the ruling class in Britain. And that is why this period is known as the Anglo-Norman period, because Anglo was already there, and after the victory, Normans became the ruling class in Britain. So the language Anglo-Norman is a blending of Anglo-Saxons जो कि already थी Britain में, plus the Norman language. Okay, that is why the period is known as the Anglo-Norman period. Now, if we talk about the languages during this period, then people used to speak 3 kinds of languages there. Norman French, जो कि एक ruling class थी, तो ये ruling class के द्वारा ही बोली जाती थी. And the language Latin was the language of the church and the scholars. Because English जो थी, एक तरीके से the Anglo-Saxon king was defeated, so English was spoken by the common people. Now इस period को हम Middle English के नाम से क्यों जानते हैं? Because the English was a mix of either English or French. That is why Middle English period. और आपका जो ये literature लिखा गया था, ये लिखा गया था 1066 AD से 13th century, जो कि आता है आपका before the age of Chaucer. So this was the history about Anglo-Norman period. The timeline is this, and in this battle, the Normans became the ruling class in Britain. That is why Anglo-Norman period. The language became either English or French. Now let us talk about the historical background of this period. Now during this period there was crusades, which was a series of religion driven military campaigns. So it was a kind of religious war between the Christians and the Muslims. Then the 2 universities, Oxford universities and Cambridge universities, were established during this period. And also Thomas Becket, who was an Archbishop of Canterbury. Archbishop यहाँ पे एक highest rank हुआ करती थी इंग्लैंड में. So he was murdered. Thomas Becket was murdered during this period. So these are some of the historical highlights of this period. Crusades, the establishment of 2 universities, Cambridge universities and Oxford universities, and murder of Thomas Becket, the Bishop of Canterbury. Now let us talk about the major writers of this period. First we have Historia Regum Britannia. It is the history of kings of Britain, written by Geoffrey of Monmouth. Then we have Roman de Brut, which was written by Wace, and also Lemon, the writer Lemons Brut, written in English. Roman de Brut is in French, which was written by Wace, and the writer Lemon, written in English. Then we have Lays, which was written by Mary de France. It is a short narrative poems which is in a French language, because we have seen that the literature was either in English or in French language. Then we have Roman de la Rose, Romance of the Rose, again a French poem. This work is written by these two writers. Then we have Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which is a late 14th century romance written by an unknown author. Then we have the poem Pearl by the same anonymous poet who has written this work, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Then we have the Owl and the Nightingale. It is a debate poem written in the 13th century. Again, the author is unknown. Okay, so let us revise what we have studied about Anglo-Norman period. That this period was started from 1066 AD to 16th century AD. And this period is also known as the Middle English period. And we have studied about the Battle of Hastings, in which the Duke of Normandy defeated the King Harold. Then we talk about the historical background of this period. Then some of the major writers. Then we have the conclusion that these early periods, Anglo-Saxon and Anglo-Norman, were like the building blocks for the English language. So these two periods, Anglo-Saxon and Anglo-Normans, were like the beginning of English literature. Over time, they mixed together and evolved, and by the Middle English period, English really started to come into its own. So that's all for today. If you have any query, you can post your comments in the comment section down below. And if you have any kind of suggestion, then do comment in the comment section. Till then, keep loving and keep watching Literary Readers. I will meet soon in the next video. Thank you.